But what I see with most golfers is the torso is too open initially, then stalls, and the club then flips. Looking at two key things I would want golfers to do to make them become really good at putting pressure on the golf ball, creating consistent strike, getting the body movements synced in to become a really great golfer. So from a cheesy point of view, I'd kind of look at this as amateur to pro. How we can move you from an amateur golfer to a pro golfer with two moves. So the first move is loading the club in the backswing. So most good players will load these wrists with a structured arm as we swing back. So we're very much looking at how this thumb can work up with the lead arm staying structured into this what we will call as first L position here. That's the first thing we're going to look at. Then we're very much looking at how we can shift these arms to push down and through and kind of almost be, in theory or in thinking, in time with the torso, as opposed to dragging behind the torso, which is what I see with a lot of amateur golfers. We tend to see the unloaded wrists and then this kind of move where the arms and elbows get spread and behind the torso as we swing down. So we're very much looking at loading and delivering the arms and then the sequencing of the body to be able to deliver that club with the handle more forward, the low point more forward, and the position to push the elbows in front of the rib cage, so the rib cage then sits back and then we don't early extend. So we get the rotation and the real dynamic move through the hitting zone as opposed to prior to that. Let's share with you how we can achieve that with a few different things. The first thing we're going to look at is just a simple alignment rod down the side of the shaft. Now what I want you to do with this is in the backswing, get used to pointing this alignment rod down to the ball to target line early in this backswing. So by the left arm being, about hip high or just above hip high, certainly before it gets to parallel to the ground, get that rod to point to the ground. From there, try and keep the torso in the same location and then try and put the rod so that the handle is on top of the ball and this is still parallel to the ground and the torso hasn't moved. So in the backswing, loading, and there's a bit of turning of the torso. On the downswing, the arm goes forward and we're keeping this still to parallel. And then from there, then we would turn and extend and stretch those arms through the ball. That's essentially what we're looking at through this whole video. But we are going to look at a few different ways of trying to feel this, okay? And certainly there's going to be a secondary drill that's going to work more on the arms in the downswing. Initially, this is already working on loading in the backswing. So practice swings with this. Then to make it real simple, take a tee, put it in the end of the club, point the tee to the ground. So then when we're going to hit this golf ball, can I point that tee to the ground? Nice and early. And then feel like I'm driving forward. That is all I'd want you to do initially. That's the first phase for you. Phase 2 is a little leg drill that's going to help the sequencing and also help you rotate in the backswing correctly. Still loading, but if I take my normal setup, cross my left foot over my right foot, retake an address position here so I'm not up there and wobbling and falling over. Now from here, wind against that in the backswing, start down with the arms into that parallel position, it's a sharp parallel to the ground, then step out and swing through. That's certainly the way I'd want you to feel the sequence is going to work. And then what I'd get you to do is slowly hit a few shots doing that. We're not looking for great shots or great strikes. It's difficult, but we are looking for you to practice the movement. Give that a go, and let's look at one last drill. So the last drill is really looking at the arms. And I've got a rod here, just dangled out the ground as a reference point. It's not really in the way, not really going to try and hit it. But what I'm looking to do is as I swing down, keeping the body facing back, closed, trying to get my arm level with that rod. So I'm trying to feel that everything feels rotated back here, but the arms are way forward. And the more I can get that shaft up at the same time, the better. Feels different. It feels kind of wrong because your torso wants to open, and we do want it to open. So most golfers would not open this torso enough for contact. But what I see with most golfers is the torso is too open initially, then stalls, and the club then flips. So what we're trying to do is keep the torso more closed, have less rotation at this part of the swing, and then have more rotation through the hitting zone to make the hands more consistent and passive through their journey through the impact zone, which is more essential. Let's just talk you through that once more. So what I'm saying is, in the backswing, the torso turns. We want the torso almost to go down a bit, and it is slightly unwinding, but the rate of unwind, if you like, the rate of unrotation is far less. And at that time, the arms are going down towards target and pushing forward to take that low point forward. Then I want everything to turn to get through the golf ball. So with the rate of rotation is the same as before, but we're trying to get the rate of rotation higher through the contact zone. So it's kind of less here, more here, and the same amount there. Give that a go if you want to play better golf.